Hello, it's Bruce Ray again, and it's good to see you. We're coming to Easter. Tomorrow is Easter Friday, the day that we remember that Jesus was crucified on the cross for you and I. And there's some verses that I have found very powerful, and they just help and give us a little bit of an idea of the significance of the time when Jesus was on the cross and the time that he died for you and I. So I'd like to start by sharing the verses. They're found in Matthew chapter 27. And at verse 45, it starts with this: From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of those standing there heard this, they said, he's calling Elijah. Immediately one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar, put it up on a staff and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him. And when Jesus cried out in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that very moment, stuff happened on this earth that really shows us the impact of the death of Jesus on that cross. And verse 51, at that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. That's the first thing that happened. The curtain in the temple, which separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple, where only the chief priest was allowed in. That was the sanctuary. That was the Holy of Holies. And up until this point, only the chief priest was permitted to go through that curtain and into the Holy of Holies. The moment Jesus died, that curtain was torn from top to bottom. God was opening up access to himself. We no longer had to wait and go through the high priest. Jesus became the high priest for us. And we now have access to the Holy of Holies. Just grasp that for a moment. You and I now have direct access to the Holy of Holies, the very presence of God himself. The moment that Jesus died on the cross, he opened up direct access for you and I to the Holy of Holies. Then the earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. Imagine if you were there and you saw this stuff beginning to happen. It would certainly gain your attention. The rocks split, tombs broke open, and bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. Wow, that'd get your attention, wouldn't it? They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city, Jerusalem, and appeared to many people. Just imagine if you were in Jerusalem that day and suddenly your great aunt or your grandparents who had died many, many years before, suddenly they're there. You could walk up to them, you could talk to them. They had been resurrected. Many people saw this happen. Many people saw their relatives who were long dead had been resurrected. Wow, that'd get your attention. And then we come to verse 54. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely he was the Son of God." Just imagine if you were the centurion in charge of this process. And there you are, responsible for crucifying Jesus as well as others. And then the moment Jesus dies, everything begins to happen. Wow. Imagine if you were that centurion and you were seeing, the rocks split, graves open, the whole place went into darkness. From noon till 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. This stuff surely would gain your attention. And then the realization, surely he was the Son of God. But he missed one important thing. Jesus was yet to resurrect. After being in the tomb, Jesus rose from the dead. And so his statement, surely he was the Son of God, was no longer correct. Surely he is the Son of God. I like to think that centurion and those guards realized who Jesus really was that day and became true followers. Maybe one day when we get to heaven, we will find out that the impact that Jesus' death had, it wasn't just some ordinary event. When Jesus died on that cross, stuff happened. Significant stuff happened. The world was changed dramatically and will never be the same again. So as you think about Jesus and Easter and all that it is, the impact of the whole Easter story, just remember that when Jesus died, it was a very, very powerful event, and people's lives were dramatically changed from that moment onwards. May God bless you. Have a great Easter and enjoy your day. Amen.